Between now and New Year's Day, God is doing something profound in your life. He's removing certain people from your circle, not to punish you, not to isolate you, but to protect you and prepare you for what He's bringing in 2025. You might have already noticed relationships feeling strained, distant, or awkward. Connections that used to flow easily now feel forced. People you once talked to daily have suddenly gone quiet. This isn't random. This isn't coincidence. This is divine intervention. God is performing what I call Christmas cleaning, a spiritual house cleaning where He removes relationships that would block, drain, or derail the blessings He has prepared for your new year. And He's doing it with precision, targeting exactly 7 types of people who need to exit before your next chapter can fully begin. Some of these departures will surprise you. Others you've sensed coming for months. But all of them are necessary, all of them are merciful, and all of them are making room for the divine connections God is about to send. By the end of this message, you'll identify which of these 7 types are currently leaving your life. You'll understand why their departure is actually a blessing. And you'll recognize the divine pattern that's preparing you for unprecedented favor in 2025. Stay with me through all 7. The connections we'll make will help you release these people with peace instead of pain. Before we identify the 7 types, let me explain what's happening spiritually right now. The end of the year is always a time of divine assessment and realignment. God looks at your life, sees what's coming in your next season, and begins removing what won't be compatible with those blessings. This isn't cruelty, it's preparation. Think of it like this. If God is about to elevate you to a new level financially, relationally, or spiritually, He needs to remove the people who would sabotage that elevation, either intentionally or unintentionally. Their energy, their beliefs, their patterns would conflict with where you're going. The first type of person leaving your life is the energy vampire, someone who consistently drains you emotionally, mentally, or spiritually without giving anything back. You know who I'm talking about. Every conversation with them leaves you exhausted. They always have a crisis. They always need something. They call only when they have problems, never to celebrate your wins. After spending time with them, you feel depleted, heavy, or even physically tired. Here's what God wants you to understand. This person isn't leaving because they're bad. They're leaving because their season of access to your energy is over. God has been sustaining you through this draining relationship, but in 2025, He needs your energy reserved for what He's calling you to build. Within the next 2 weeks, you're going to notice this person naturally fading. They might stop calling as much. They might get offended over something small and create distance. They might simply get busy with their own life. Don't chase them. Don't try to fix it. This is God's mercy. This person's departure connects to person number 5 in a way that will reveal exactly why God is protecting your energy right now. We'll see how they work together to clear space for something specific. The second type leaving is the dream killer, someone who consistently dismisses, minimizes, or discourages your vision, goals, and calling. This person might seem supportive on the surface, but notice what happens when you share your dreams. They immediately point out why it won't work. They remind you of your past failures. They suggest you're being unrealistic. They subtly, or not so subtly, make you feel foolish for believing God for more. Maybe they say things like, "That's nice, but be realistic," or "People like us don't do things like that," or "Remember what happened last time you tried something big?" God is removing this person because 2025 is your year of bold faith and major moves. He can't have voices in your ear planting seeds of doubt about what He's told you to do. Their skepticism would become your hesitation, and hesitation would cost you your breakthrough. If you have someone in your life who consistently discourages your dreams, type "I'm releasing them" in the comments. Declaring it helps you let go. Now we move to the third and fourth types, and these might be harder to recognize because they often come disguised as good people. The third person leaving is the competitor, someone who pretends to be your friend but is actually in competition with you. They secretly feel threatened by your success and constantly compare themselves to you. You can spot them by these patterns. They celebrate you publicly but undermine you privately. When you share good news, they immediately one-up you with their own story. They give you backhanded compliments like, "That's great for you, but I could never settle for that." When you succeed, they find ways to diminish it or shift the conversation back to themselves. This person is exhausting because you're constantly managing their ego. You find yourself downplaying your blessings so they don't feel bad. You censor your joy so they don't feel jealous. You walk on eggshells about your progress. God is removing this person because 2025 requires you to step fully into your blessings without apologizing. He's about to increase you in ways that would make this person's jealousy unbearable, for both of you. Their departure is mercy for them and freedom for you. The fourth person is the loyalty tester, someone who constantly demands proof of your loyalty, makes you choose sides, or keeps you walking on eggshells about their approval. These are the people who get offended if you spend time with others, who guilt-trip you for not being available enough, who regularly test your commitment through dramatic situations, who make you feel like you're always one wrong move away from losing their friendship. This relationship has felt like work, not rest. You're always proving yourself, always reassuring them, always managing their insecurity about your connection. God is removing this person because authentic relationships don't require constant proof. The connections coming in 2025 will be secure, mature, and mutually supportive. This person's departure is making space for people who trust you without testing you. Second incomplete loop planted. The loyalty tester's exit is directly preparing you for person number 7. When you see who's coming in, you'll understand why this exhausting dynamic had to end first. Have you noticed that certain relationships feel increasingly difficult to maintain? That you're tired of proving yourself to people who should already trust you? That's not you being a bad friend. That's God showing you which connections are about to expire. Now we come to the final 3 types, and these are the most significant because they directly block your 2025 blessings. The fifth person leaving is the gossip, someone who talks about everyone to you, which means they're definitely talking about you to everyone else. You know this person. They always have tea to spill. They know everyone's business. They position themselves as the information hub. And while it might feel like intimacy when they share others' secrets with you, what they're really showing you is that your secrets aren't safe with them either. God is removing this person because 2025 is your year of strategic silence and protected vision. What he's about to tell you and show you cannot be shared with people who don't know how to hold sacred information. One leaked conversation could compromise an entire blessing. And here's where the earlier connection comes in. Remember the energy vampire from person 1? The reason God is removing both the energy vampire and the gossip is because they're often the same toxic network. The people draining your energy are usually the ones spreading your business. God is severing both drains at once, your emotional energy and your private information. This protects what he's about to release in your life. The sixth person is the seasonal person, someone who served a specific purpose in your life, but that season has ended and they're now overstaying their divine assignment. Not everyone is meant to go with you into every season. Some people were placed in your life to teach you specific lessons, help you through particular challenges, or connect you to certain opportunities. Once that purpose is fulfilled, God releases them, but sometimes they, or you, resist the natural ending. This person isn't bad, toxic, or even problematic. They're just done. The relationship feels stale. Conversations feel forced. You're connected more by history than by current alignment. You keep the relationship going out of obligation, guilt, or fear of hurting them. God is removing this person gently but firmly because 2025 requires fresh connections aligned with your current calling, not your past season. Honoring what was doesn't mean forcing what's no longer meant to be. Within the next 30 days, this person will naturally fade. The relationship will end not with drama but with peaceful distance. Let it happen. Release them with gratitude for what they brought, and trust God to fill that space with someone aligned with your next chapter. The seventh and final person leaving is the almost right person, someone who's good but not God's best for you, someone who's compatible but not called, someone who fits but doesn't fulfill. This is often the hardest departure because there's nothing obviously wrong. They're nice, they care, they add value, but deep in your spirit, you know they're not the one, whether in romance, friendship, or partnership. They're settling, they're safe, they're comfortable, but they're not covenant. God is removing this person because 2025 is bringing the right people, the divine appointments, the destiny connections, the covenant relationships. But the right people can't enter until the almost right people exit. And here's the second connection. Remember the loyalty tester who kept making you prove yourself? The reason God is removing both the loyalty tester and the almost right person is because neither represents secure, covenant relationship. One makes you work too hard for connection, the other makes you settle for less than you deserve. God is clearing both to bring relationships that are both secure and divinely aligned. Let's bring all seven together so you understand the complete pattern of what God is doing. He's removing 1. The energy vampire, draining your strength. 2. The dream killer, limiting your faith. 3. The competitor, forcing you to shrink. 4. The loyalty tester, exhausting your peace. 5. The gossip, compromising your privacy. 6. The seasonal person, occupying space meant for new connections. 7. The almost right person, blocking the right connections from entering. Notice the pattern. God is systematically removing anything that drains, limits, threatens, tests, exposes, delays, or settles you. He's creating a completely clean relational landscape so that everything entering in 2025 builds you up, believes in you, celebrates you, trusts you, protects you, and aligns with your destiny. Here's your practical guidance for navigating these departures. First, don't chase anyone who's walking away. If God is removing them, forcing them to stay only delays your blessing. Let them go with grace. Second, don't explain or defend yourself. You don't need to justify the distance. Trust that God is orchestrating both sides of the separation. Third, grieve if you need to. Even necessary endings can hurt. Allow yourself to feel the loss while trusting the purpose. Fourth, don't fill the space immediately. God is creating room for specific people. If you rush to fill the gaps, you might block divine connections with comfortable but wrong ones. Fifth, watch for the new arrivals. Between January and March 2025, God will begin introducing the right people, those who align with your next level. You'll recognize them by how easy, natural, and mutually beneficial the connection feels. Which of the 7 types is currently leaving your life? Share the number, 1 to 7, in the comments. You don't have to explain, just claim your freedom. Here's what's going to happen. By mid-January, you'll look at your circle and notice it's smaller but stronger. You'll have fewer relationships but deeper connections. Less drama but more peace. Fewer voices but clearer direction. And by March or April, you'll look back at this season and recognize it as the divine reset that changed everything. You'll be grateful for every exit because you'll see clearly what, and who, their departure made room for. Before we close, I want you to hear this clearly. The people leaving your life aren't rejecting you. God is redirecting you. Their departure isn't evidence that you're difficult, unlovable, or problematic. It's proof that you're transitioning, elevating, and being prepared for something greater than what you've known. Christmas cleaning isn't punishment, it's preparation. God loves you too much to let wrong relationships block right blessings. He's making room in your life for the people, opportunities, and experiences He's been preparing for you. Yes, it might feel lonely right now. Yes, the holidays might highlight the absence of people who used to be present. But trust the process. The emptiness is temporary. The right connections are permanent. Here's God's message to you. I'm not taking people away to hurt you. I'm removing them to protect you. Every exit is making space for an entrance. Every goodbye is preparing for a better hello. Trust my timing. Trust my choices. Trust that I know exactly who belongs in your 2025 and who doesn't. Now, 3 things before you go. First, subscribe to this channel. More messages about navigating transitions, recognizing divine timing, and walking in your 2025 blessings are coming. You'll want these insights as you move through this season. Second, leave a comment. Tell me which of the 7 types resonated most with you. Your testimony helps others feel less alone in this process. And sometimes, naming who's leaving helps you release them with peace. Third, if this message brought you clarity and confirmation about what's happening in your relationships right now, click that like button. It helps this reach others who are confused about the exits they're experiencing and need to hear that it's God's hand, not their fault. Here's my final word. Your circle is shrinking so your impact can expand. Your relationships are being refined so your purpose can be fulfilled. Your connections are being recalibrated so your destiny can be activated. The people leaving aren't the blessing you're losing. They're the barrier God is removing so the real blessings can arrive. Trust the exits. Embrace the emptiness. Prepare for the entrances. Your 2025 isn't about who you're leaving behind. It's about who God is bringing forward. And every person exiting right now is making space for someone better aligned with where you're going. God's Christmas cleaning is complete mercy. Let Him remove who needs to go. And get ready to welcome who's coming. Your best connections haven't arrived yet, but they're on the way.